Welcome back to Boy Band Break, where we encourage you to take a break from your day and join us in some boy band conversation. As always, my name is Diane.
I'm Chinzia.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Lydia, aka Mama Lou.
So this week, on May 14th, we have a birthday. Danny Wood from New Kids on the Block is turning 51. So happy birthday, Danny.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Danny.
birthday.
Woo!
Happy
pandemic
birthday,
birthday.
Are you okay?
Sorry, I just remembered, but that's later on in the month, so we're good.
Yes.
Okay.
Me?
Anyways.
Yes.
Oh, don't worry, I'm good.
Oh, don't worry, you're not good.
Oh God.
Oh,
It's okay.
Aging.
It's weird, right? And especially now, because like people can't party and stuff.
Oh,
So-
I feel like we should all just cumulatively decide. Cumulatively? That's
an
not the
interesting
word.
word.
Yeah,
I
it's
would-
cumulatively.
Communitively? I don't know, as a whole. As
Cumulative?
Cumulative means like,
Yeah, I know what she
to
means.
sum up.
As a community?
All of us as a whole world
Yes.
should just decide that 2020 didn't count as like a year.
Yeah.
Oh, so then I'm not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
So
didn't
we're still
age,
younger.
like nothing happened. When we're like Happy New Year, we're just gonna be like that never happened.
Yeah.
Alright, sounds
Yeah.
good.
And like before then, we'll just have like a whole day of mourning for everybody.
Yeah.
Then we'll have like a whole day of partying for all
Yeah.
the parties that didn't happen.
Yeah,
And then Happy New Year. Fuck this shit. 2020. Let's try this again.
100%.
Yes.
I think that's
Let's
2021.
make it
2021. Shit.
awesome.
And yeah, let's not do 2020 over again. I'm not suggesting that.
And just like the numbers look
2021.
nice. They
Yeah.
look like it's going to be a great
the
year.
best year. Yes.
But I think once 2021 comes, it's just going to be like, restart, that never happened. What?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Anyways, moving along.
Yes, please.
Last week we talked all about the New Kids and their virtual cruise. So if you would like to hear that and you have not listened, you can go back and check that out after this. But something else happened that same weekend, which was now, I believe, 2 weeks ago, which was the Jonas Brothers released part 2 of their documentary called
Series?
Happiness Continues. So the first one was Chasing Happiness, correct?
Yes.
And then,
The album was Happiness Begins,
yeah,
and then this one is Happiness Continues.
correctamundo.
Do we need to say that we're recording from here again? Or people
Oh,
people are
yes.
inferring that, I'm
Sorry.
assuming.
We are still in
In
the
quarantine.
Dorkalicious Studios.
I feel like
We're
you
still in
can-
quarantine, guys.
As much as I love the Dorkalicious Studios, and this is like amazing, and thank God we have this, you can hear a difference.
Yeah,
So-
100%. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
110%.
Yeah.
So you'll know when we're back in the Bell Studios.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
One day.
One day. I think it's great that they
Someday.
fixed it so there's 4 microphones now.
Just in time
in time for this to happen. So we're like,
Oh.
oh, great.
Oh, well.
Oh well, what are you gonna do?
Thank God
What
we
am I
have
gonna
Dorkalicious.
What am I gonna do?
What am I going to do? Thank you.
Huh.
Thank you. I'm happy to host you guys
Thank
every
you,
time.
Lydia. We appreciate you.
No
Because
props.
if it wasn't for this, you guys would just be like, well...
Are they
what-
dead?
Yeah.
What happened?
Did they get corona? No,
I
we'd
know.
be on socials, but
If we were dead,
no. I
From
mean,
beyond the grave.
I was just saying if we didn't have Lydia and this mic,
yes.
we probably
Ah.
wouldn't be putting out new episodes.
speaking of socials, make sure you're following us on all of our social medias at Boy Band Break, BREAK. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're on YouTube. Listen to our stuff there if you don't have any podcasting apps. And yeah, there you go.
Cool.
Everywhere.
Anyways, back to the Jonas Brothers.
Joe Bros!
Happiness continues.
Correctamundo. So this documentary is slightly different. If you've watched both, this one is slightly different from the first one. The first one was just like straight documentary, going through and like following them on their journey to like reuniting.
Which I liked. I liked
And
it a lot.
then, you know, they went back and talked about like things in the beginning and showed footage of them from like, you know, how they started the band. But then it was basically up to like, now we brought the band back together and we're gonna get back together and we're gonna do stuff.
That noise, by the way,
Yeah.
is Lydia's phone that makes the farting sound. None of us are farting.
Right.
I'm just saying. I made a bunch of notes for this.
Well, it does
this
say
one-
the title, like, it's a Jonas Brothers concert film.
Right, exactly.
Yes,
so this is more of a concert.
Yes, this is
Yes.
not necessarily. There's definitely documentary.
Elements?
Wow, you are on
What am I? Am
today.
I Nick Carter? Like, what is this?
Yes.
Documentary type like scenes where they talk about like since they released the album and since they decided to start the tour, what's kind of been going on.
But it's interspersed with the concert.
So basically, it's just if you did not see the tour, the Happiness Begins tour.
Yo.
Here you go. Most of it is there. I don't think they show every single.
I think they missed out on that medley section.
They
I don't
didn't show. There was some songs. I cannot speak. Shongs. There was some shongs.
Some schlongs.
Well, there was some schlongs also,
Are you
but
drunk? What is this?
Okay.
anyways,
There were no schlongs.
there was
Much
some,
to my disappointment.
there was some songs they didn't show in their entirety.
Yes.
So
like, I feel like I've only ever watched one, maybe two concert DVDs. Obviously, the O-Town one,
O-Town
live from
from
New York,
Oh my
which is,
god.
like the best. But literally, there was a little intro and a little extra, but it was in the entire show as it is.
It was beautiful.
Right? They didn't have anything, so I don't know if that is how concert DVDs are.
this
or
style
not.
is more
New?
Since like Justin Bieber and
Yes, so
stuff.
Justin Bieber did one, Taylor Swift did one, One Direction did one. I'm
Gaga, probably.
sure freaking BTS probably has one, and like people like
but
that.
back in the day, like when the Backstreet Boys and stuff would do
that
it would just be like
a
full
night out
just-
with the Backstreet Boys is just
Just
a
a
concert.
concert. Okay.
Yeah.
This style is more modern, where they like intersperse it with clips of them, and they like
Chatting
take footage
behind
from
the
like
scenes and
a
stuff.
bunch of different shows. It's not just like one show that they film. Like O-Town Live in New York is O-Town Live in New York.
At
They
the
filmed
Hammerstein
that
Ballroom.
one show, and that's what you see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So good.
This is like they take footage from a bunch of different
They
shows.
take
and
it
kind
from
of,
4 places, in case you're wondering. I have that in my notes.
What 4 places?
Well, my
Sylvia?
friend.
let's before Chinzia starts, I just want to say I apologize. She has like 6 pages of notes, so
They're
if
like
you
quick notes.
would like a play-by-play of everything that happens in this movie without actually having to watch it, get ready, because we got it for
Do you have who wrote the songs?
I do not.
Do you have who set up the Pyrotechnics, the man with one eye? You
No,
don't have his
I don't.
full name?
I didn't, and I missed out on their. Yeah, no, it was hard to write, but I'm sure Sophia also has some things.
So here we go.
It was hard
All right.
to watch.
Lydia was not a fan, but let's.
What do I have?
What?
You have notes, bud?
You said I have the same notes as what?
I said you have some notes too, right?
Yeah, I have a few notes, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Not as much as you, but I have some.
So feel free to interject whenever, and anyone feel free to comment on any part.
Will
of this
do.
Anytime.
Okay, so it kind of
Okay.
started off with them talking, and they're saying that the first documentary and stuff they healed and they mended their relationship, and now their relationship is better and they're in family, and every day is about choosing happiness. So that's like their theory. I don't know. Did you have anything there, bud?
It's all about happiness.
I was like more like, oh, now they can talk to each other if
Yes.
they have a problem. They don't have to like keep it in. So I thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How
so
nice for them.
Well-
Everyday happiness can begin.
you know, they've chosen to continue with the happiness,
All right,
not
fair.
this like stuff they
Yeah.
had before.
All right.
So
I'm just salty. All right.
yes, I know.
So they needed the other film to help them
The other film
to
helped them,
be able to, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
you know, because they did have a lot of time where they didn't talk for like 6 years.
Yeah,
or whatever.
this is true.
So it was hard. So this documentary, it follows a few different shows. The first show, which is in Miami, and everybody's there, like the whole Jonas family. It starts and ends in the Miami.
Mhm.
They also go to Vancouver, New York City, and Mexico City are the main stadium concert things that they do. Arena concerts. Yes,
But also Chicago?
But they also go to Chicago.
They do, but that wasn't one of them. That's a little mini one, which
That's true, yes.
yes.
Hmm.
So again, so just like if you've listened to our tour,
Oh, that's a
Review.
good point. We did so just if you're a Jonas fan and you're tuning into this for the first time and you're wondering why I can't speak, I don't know either. But we reviewed the Happiness Begins album, we reviewed the Chasing Happiness documentary, and we reviewed this concert that is shown in this Happiness Continues documentary. So lots of Jonas Brothers content for you to catch up on.
So just go find our old episodes. So for this particular concert, Diane, Sophia, and I saw it from behind the stage because we had very cheap seats. So we only saw parts of it. So some of this was new for Diane to see them like on the stage.
Some of it because a lot of our view was obstructed.
Yes. Sophia and I ended up going to the second round when they came back to Toronto because we got free tickets for that. So we did see it, and that's where we saw a lot of this video stuff. So
yes, we were like, oh wow, okay, this is what they were screaming about. Yes,
there's a story that brings all the aspects together, because when you're sitting behind the stage and they're not showing the video, you have no idea what's going on. So there's like a main video of a bunch of like 3 little boys kind of like going through,
which now makes sense having watched the documentary, because did you understand at the time that it was supposed to be them like finding their inner child?
Yes.
You understood that at the concert?
At the second concert when we could see it, but at the first concert when we saw nothing, I was like, I don't understand what's happening right now.
Well, obviously, because you couldn't see anything, but I'm just thinking if I saw that out of context without any, like, hey, this is us finding our inner child, I'd be like, why are there these little kids? Why are they like, I don't know. I don't know if I would have got
somewhere.
that.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm also going to say what songs they did as we're kind of going through. So they started off with Roller Coaster.
My favorite song.
It's a very good song.
To note, and you would know this, the order of how they show the songs in the documentary is not the same as the concert, right?
Well, the beginning and the end were the same, so I feel like maybe
it definitely wasn't.
There was a few songs.
There was some that are mixed up for sure.
Yeah.
So
just based on outfits.
Yeah. So and they mostly wear the same outfits in these ones. So they start off with Joe is wearing pink, Kevin is purple, Nick is mint green.
And they're all suits.
And they're all suits, which I do not like. Lydia, what did you feel about these suits?
I hated them. It was just, oh my god. I just needed to see some biceps, for God's sake.
I made some Lydia comments throughout the documentary that I wrote down as well.
You.
So, yes. But then I also have to explain which one was Joe, Nick, and Kevin, because Lydia always forgets.
I like the Taylor Hanson one.
I don't know why you're calling him Taylor Hanson.
Joe Jonas is Taylor Hanson, apparently.
That's the one, right?
Taylor does not have thick eyebrows.
No, but he's like the pretty one.
They're also
Joe Jonas. Joe Jonas.
They're also both
Taylor.
the middle, I guess, of the 3.
Okay, I suppose.
And then the ugly one is Isaac.
He's not ugly.
Isaac.
Kevin.
Did you say Kevin? I was not inferring. Okay. I was saying Isaac Hansen.
And you're saying that Nick is Zach Hansen?
That is correct. Because he's young, and Zach was young, and he was the popular one. Well, actually, Taylor was popular. I don't know. Don't ask me. Okay, let's continue.
Okay, moving along.
You're hilarious, Lydia.
Thank you.
So at this point, there was a quote, I'm probably by Kevin, and it said, "What I missed most was having my best friends with me." So that's what they missed the most.
No, I remember that. That was Nick.
Okay, so
yes,
Nick.
They missed working with. Yeah,
who's getting confused on the Jonas Brothers now?
I was writing things down.
Okay, But by the way, it is a liquid pen, everyone. So that is the smoothest pen. So I'm just going to put that out there.
All right, please continue.
But yes, he missed working with his brothers.
Yes,
and it was more than a band. It's family.
Exactly. And then at one point they're at Joe's apartment in New York City, and then this comment was made, and then Lydia got really pissed off.
I got super pissed off.
So the comment was...
Oh, this comment was made, do you think anyone will show up?
How did you know, Sophia?
Do you think anyone is going to come?
How did Sophia know?
And then I was like, yeah, who? Have you met the Jonas Brothers fans?
Thank you, Sophia. I was like, come on, man.
So that's the part that confused me, because I thought it was in New York, but Miami was the first show. So maybe it was, I don't know. But then they go into one of the arenas and they're kind of setting things up and they're like, oh my God, this is happening. Then it kind of flipped to, they're talking about like the venue design, their stage design. And they called it the Death Star.
Yeah, the Death Star.
Because it was curvy and had ramps.
Yes, there was also like bends and curves and all that he was saying.
Yes, and it was built to cater everything that they love. So like Joe loves popping up and things like that. And then Lydia was like, "This is not the Death Star."
Please, have you seen the Death Star? That was it. Didn't you say it looked like?
I said it kind of looked like Deadpool's mask, and Lydia thought I said Deadpool's ass, and then she was very confused.
She's like, yeah, they look like two butt cheeks, like. Yeah.
There was like circles, and then Diane said it would look more like an eyeball, is what she
having only seen it live from above where I was sitting in my obstructed view, the main stage looks like an eyeball. And then there's like a ramp going down the middle, which I guess is like, I don't know.
Like only at the very end did he do the pop-up.
Yes.
Because the pop-up, like how this is supposed to work, it's supposed to look like a piece of popcorn. You're supposed to be like, I'm being launched into the stage. But like
usually it was just like
it was just like a limpy dick, like an old man elevator.
He did jump out at the one part at the
end. The jump should have happened every time.
And you know what I did like that he said about that? He was like, "This is some real boy band shit."
That's exactly how.
Yes, I did like that
real
too. Yeah.
Boy band shit. So they were like, "Woo!" And then the pyro guy had one eye, is what I...
That was for everyone who's commented that they're not a boy band.
Yes.
Yes.
So there you go. So they do consider this stage setup to be real boy band shit. None of that other
Yes.
Then Kevin talks for a bit, and he said, "I was lost for so long. I didn't know my identity." So they're all kind of sitting there, and he's like, "Sometimes I just feel like you just need to take a breath and chill." So this is before the concert. And you think, wow, this is very profound, except Kevin says this about 17 more times throughout the rest of the documentary. So
profound.
So,
and then Nick also said how they didn't like understand why Kevin was more into his family because they weren't really with children or anything like that.
Yes, they talk about that a bit later.
Yeah.
So then the next song is Cool. I particularly thought that the drummer kind of reminded me of Weird Al because he was wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Lydia, who did you say the drummer looked like?
Zach Hansen?
Lydia thought it was Zach Hansen. I don't know. So, and Lydia likes the suits specifically just for this song. So you said that if these suits weren't in the rest of the thing, then it'd be fine.
No, Cool. It made sense because in the music video they were retro styled. The suits were retro styled. It was like, okay, this is cute for this song. Then remove clothing. I mean, well, not all clothing, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes, Mama Lou, we got you.
Yeah.
She wanted tearaway pants.
Tearaway pants.
That's later on as well.
I know. Sorry.
So then at that point, after Cool, they're kind of showing backstage. So Priyanka and Nick. Nick is getting fitted in an orange ensemble, which Diane hates.
It's
and
so
it was
ugly.
like sleeveless, which Lydia liked. Then you see like there's kids running around backstage. Sophie Turner is there doing her stuff. Then Joe says to get ready for shows, he does 20 push-ups, screams, and then gets slapped in the face.
Amazing.
Oh my god, I thought that was hilarious.
That was so insane.
Like hardly did anything, and then Joe has like the most things that he does to get ready for the show.
I was dying, and then his wife slapped him in the face. Because I guess he's asked Joe and he's asked Nick and Kevin to slap him in the face, but it's not strong enough of a slap. But luckily, Sophie was there to smack him really hard. And I was like,
oh my god, I was laughing so hard.
Weird, man.
I was dying. Actually, it kind of reminded me, I was watching the new Bachelor.
I was just gonna say, it reminded me of that Listen to Your Heart show.
So there's this new Bachelor show where it's like guys and girls, they have to couple up and then they have to sing together. It's like a singing.
What?
It's like a competition singing show and getting a couple.
What?
But then at the end of the one episode, Trevor was going on about how everyone preps before they perform. So everyone's like la 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 la.
His partner was doing these weird like squats. It was like
they're all doing this like weird stuff and like breathing weird and like singing high and low. And then he's like, "This is how I prep." And then he takes like
a big swig of beer
and puts it down. He's like, "Okay, ready to go."
Yeah, pretty much.
So that's what it kind of reminded me of, seeing Joe do this like thing. And then Kevin, they were all holding hands, and he led the group prayer before they went out on stage. So that's kind of how that worked. Then the next song was SOS.
Which is how I was feeling during watching this documentary. Oh my god. An hour and 45 minutes.
44.
Sorry, out of 44 minutes.
Excuse moi. Then,
to be fair, there's the last like few minutes are credits, so it's like an hour and 35 minutes.
To be fair, Sophia, Chinzia made us watch all the credits.
Really?
I wasn't sure something would happen at the end, and then I went to the bathroom, and then they come out and they said the dicks were out, but I think they were lying.
Yeah, we were
If you
lying.
watched all the way to the
Nothing
end,
happened
you
at
would
the
have saw
credits.
them.
Don't worry.
See, that's what I don't like.
Fast forward to the credits.
I need
the
credits to be entertaining. Anyways, so then after SOS, they were talking about how the songs are the soundtracks to their fans' lives. So they didn't really think that was
that. That
true
was
before,
cute.
but they're like, but then people come up to them and be like, oh, this was my wedding song, this was my grad song, this song helped me with this. Like, so he's like, so your music is actually making a difference. And then Kevin made a comment saying, do you think people will care about them getting back together, right? And then it kind of goes into a little bit of a montage about fans, and they were talking about how fans are awesome. Then there's a whole bunch of things where the fans are kind of naming their favorite member. So all three of them got name mentions.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been awkward.
And then they asked Frankie who his favorite Jonas was, and then he said,
because one of the fans said that they like a Frankie.
Yes,
out of
The
the four,
bonus
yeah.
Jonas.
and then they cut to Frankie, and they said, Frankie, who's your favorite Jonas brother? And he said, myself. And then like the guys were
Obviously.
just taking selfies with fans and stuff outside the venue. So I think it was in Miami where it was happening.
They didn't make it clear where that
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Do you have anything about that section, Soph?
Nope.
Cool. So the next song is Only Human. And then
Dance in the living room.
Dance in the living room. Yeah, I know that
Okay.
one.
So my note here is Lydia hates the suits. If only for cool, but then take them off. They are so ugly, which we kind of already
Yeah,
discussed.
it's true.
So that's so that at this point they kind of go to why didn't it work out the first time? So what happened? So bunch of notes here. It says they didn't really understand each other. They felt they weren't treated as equal because they wanted to know what Kevin wanted to know why did they leave him out of things when they did a few shows and they didn't invite Kevin to be there and it was just Nick and Joe, so Kevin felt very left out. They didn't like that Nick was in charge all the time and calling all the shots. It wasn't very collaborative. Joe was saying he was the last to know things that were happening, and then they all kind of said like the band was put before the brothers. So instead of being brothers first and a band second, the band was more important than their brothers. They got bored, they got annoyed, they got jaded. So that was all kind of stuff that wasn't happening. So then they also said that now that everybody is married, they're all kind of on the same plane, because before they didn't really understand how Kevin wanted to spend time with Danielle or do other stuff, right? And then the other main point, which I can't remember if it was Kevin, I think it was Kevin who said it, was that when the band broke up, Nick was the one to hang up on the band, but Nick was also the one to pick it back up and get them back together. So they thought
Yes,
that was
I really like that.
good.
I really like that quote. Yeah, I like that one.
So.
And also I wrote they each have a role now, so they know what they're doing in the band.
Exactly, because they're now back to being brothers and understanding each other and all this other stuff, right? So
yes,
they're kind of in the same age.
Yes.
Do you guys have anything to add to this section?
Nope.
Nothing.
Cool. All right, so the next song was Fly With Me, which I really didn't have.
I'm not going to lie, at this point, I was kind of getting bored of
Thank you,
them always
Sophia.
talking about the songs, to be honest.
Cool. And I feel like we didn't really know that song.
That was a song I don't know. It must have been we've talked about this a lot, especially when we reviewed the show. We weren't Jonas Brothers fans in their early days because there was a disconnect between like we would have been in our 20s and they were kind of in their teens, and it just didn't feel like
Right?
Yes.
yeah.
Weird.
It felt odd, and I just like couldn't relate to like their songs and like whatnot. And then now that they're like in their late 20s, early 30s, and we're like mid 30s, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then they started talking about Love Bug, and Nick was saying that Love Bug makes him feel melancholy. and that he played it for the first time in the auditorium in New York City. And for some reason, at this point, he's playing it in the shower.
Because the acoustics are better.
He said that when he originally wrote the song, he wrote it in the shower because of the acoustics.
Yes. So then they perform Love Bug, and now at this point, they've now changed into their black and white outfits. So
which
Joe's
is
all
why
black.
I think it's messed up, because then they go back to the color outfits later.
That's right,
so it's
that's
not
true.
the right order.
Yes, because Love Bug is later. I think it's after the half white. At one point, Kevin is wearing both black and white and looks like Beetlejuice.
Yes.
So,
and then there was like one of them was in all black and the other two were in white.
So that was Joe was in all black and the other two were in white. Yes.
And then at some point there's a black and white outfit,
which was Kevin's
like
Beetlejuice outfit.
Not very concise. You know what I mean?
The costumes are not consistent. So I believe if you were a real Jonas Brothers fan, you probably would have tried to hit shows to see the different
ensembles.
Yeah, outfits. I mean,
is that necessary?
Let's be honest. Let's put our cards on the table.
Yes,
here.
please.
If it was Backstreet Boys, we would have been like, let's go to the different ones to see the different things.
But Backstreet Boys would never do that because Backstreet Boys are professional and they're like, okay, this is what we're wearing.
Occasionally they do change like their t-shirt underneath their stuff, but yes, for the most part they have the one outfit that they wear.
It's a consistent look. It's like going to McDonald's
from leg to leg,
and getting different.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like I want a
say
red
my
box.
My favorite T-shirt is Howie with the heart, the smiley face heart T-shirt. Does anybody remember that one?
Nope.
No, not even.
I think Vegas he was wearing it. Anyways,
I just think branding wise, you need to wear the same things to every concert. I think that it's fair.
Well, I'm sure they have to clean the suits.
Of course they do, and that's what you do when you're on the bus. Like someone else is cleaning it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's both.
I just always assumed they had multiple of
because Nick splits his pants. Carter splits his pants constantly, so I feel like he must have backup pants.
I want to put elastic in there at this point.
He's got a booty that's all American.
Yeah,
I mean?
That's true. That's true.
Can't be contained.
No, you're right.
Anyways, back to Joe Bros. At this point, they're now in Vancouver. And their manager, which I did not get his name, it's something with a G. It was like Grong or something.
They mentioned it many times, but if you ask me what it is, what now, I can't remember.
I think it's definitely Garbo.
It was a GR. There was an O in there.
Oh,
there was something there. Anyways, so he was saying like how some shows it's like crazy panicky, but he was like talking about how eerily calm it was there. And then it kind of just shows to them trying on wardrobe pieces. So I guess must be before the actual tour starts. And the wardrobe guy goes to them. He's like, "What you do to these girls?" And then Nick goes, "And boys."
Yeah.
And the wardrobe guy is what Bette Midler does to me. So we're like, okay. So I just thought it was kind of funny the way that he said it.
Oh, I just Googled it.
Shout out to the gays.
And I was like,
basically,
like kudos to Nick. He knows the gays love him.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I just Googled it, and it actually is Gorbo.
Wow.
It's not Gorbo! It's Phil McIntyre.
Wow.
That was not the name of the guy.
What a name, Garbo.
It was not.
Oh, Soph just got it. Say it again, bud.
I said, what a name, Garbo.
Okay, you know what? Screw you guys. Continuing on. And then at this point, Kevin was also talking about how, when the group broke up, he didn't know who he was. He'd been in it since he was 14. He didn't go to high school. He didn't go to college. He did this band thing. They broke up when he was 26 and he had nothing. So his family is what gave him the identity of who he was, right? It kind of grounded him.
Yeah.
So then at this point, then there's the song.
And if he wasn't able to have them around throughout this touring process, that he wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So he was very big on the family, which I think we talked about a little bit later. So then Used to Be is the next song. So at this point in my notes, it says, Lydia, yes, a forearm. For God's sakes, give me something.
Yes,
so they took off their jacket, one of them, and Lydia was very excited about the biceps.
Thank God.
And the arms.
Took a long time, man. This was a very long documentary.
Man.
Here's the thing. The Jonas Brothers, they don't have bangers, man. The majority of their songs are slow. So, they have, maybe three or four bangers. And most of them was at the beginning and then at the end. So the middle part, it was very
and then
I was like I said, I was kind of bored by the time those songs in the middle came up, and I was like, oh my god.
Understandable. So Kevin's wearing a tank top, Joe's wearing a t-shirt, Nick is wearing an old man button-down shirt. Lydia enjoyed Joe's appearance, and Lydia also said, oh yes, a butt cheek.
Finally.
Damn it. What is it, 40 minutes in? Finally!
Thank you. It's true. I agree.
And then she also thought that one of the lyrics was coffee time.
Yeah, coffee time.
But it was actually cold feet.
Oh.
So at this point, the boys walk down the aisle to the other stage. To now they're in the B section. And then Joe says that hesitate he wrote before his vows. It makes him think of Sophie walking down the aisle. He closes his eyes for half of the song because he envisions singing to her, which is kind of funny because Sophie is actually in the back area at that point, so I guess he could literally be singing to her. And then I thought they said acetate, and then we had a discussion and an argument about acetate and what it was, and Diane didn't believe it existed, and I was talking about overhead projector. So
I didn't think it was a real word.
Yes. And then Diane, at this point, also noticed, because it's so close in the backstage, that Joe has a lot of faint tattoos. That he doesn't look like he has a lot of tattoos.
Tons.
But they're like little and like
they're
not
the simple
filled in.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the simple line ones. I mean, which are really nice.
I feel like I had never seen his arms that close up
yeah,
before.
you know what? Same. Yeah, same. And when he
think
took off
Nick
his jacket.
had some too.
That was a thing in the first documentary. I remember that. Joe and Nick have the same tattoo that they both got together for some reason, which I can't remember. They might all have it.
Poor Kevin.
I don't remember if Kevin has it or not.
The true Jonas brother.
Yeah. Oh,
but
boy.
he might have it also, and
Yeah.
I just don't remember. But I remember there was a storyline about how they went and got this same tattoo.
Yeah.
It's like the circle with a line, and it's in the first one.
Okay. So at this point, they're now backstage, and Kevin's with his kids and his
Lines
wife.
and circles. Oh my god!
I thought that, but I didn't want to make another O-Town reference.
Oh boy.
So that's
yeah, I know
okay.
lines and circles. Yes.
Okay. So Kevin and his kids and his wife and the dog, and then Kevin's talking about how this show is important to Daddy. Oh, he was telling the kids it was important to Daddy.
What, to Daddy? Like, it seems creepy when you say it that way.
I know, I was trying to figure out my notes here.
Important to Daddy.
Wow.
So he said that it was their first, so I guess they're talking about the Madison Square Garden show, and that show was the first sold out show 10 years ago, so how it's like a big thing for them to be coming back, and it's sold out again. Then it cuts to Nick playing the piano, and then he's like recording some stuff, and then talking about how he's going to perform that night. So I guess he's warming up by recording other stuff. And it's like 2 days in a row.
That was very confusing. I did not understand what was happening there.
He's just like a workhorse. I think that's what it was trying to.
I think maybe that was the point.
And then it goes to Joe, who is riding around on his bicycle.
Yeah.
And then talking about how he's a stage junkie, and then how I guess the day before, Nick's like, okay, let's kind of map out where we're going to be on stage. And Joe's like, we just walk around. As long as we don't catch on fire, that's all that matters.
I like him.
They have the pyro.
I like him.
That's funny.
So Joe is a lot more chill than Nick, is what we're...
So on this podcast, I would be Nick, and I would have 3 Joes.
I take no offense to that.
Because I try to plan things, and they're just like, nah, whatever happens, happens.
Mm-hmm. So true.
So at this point, they're still on the B stage, and for this documentary, they did parts of Runaway, Hello Beautiful, Can't Have You, and Gotta Find You, which are all songs that none of us know. And at the concert, Lydia, this is the part where they actually take requests from the crowd.
Oh, when they're in that circular section.
Yeah, so so that section changes every night.
What do you mean, like this?
That
the
part
shape?
of the
that
concert.
little part of the concert, so they don't know what they're singing.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So
I thought you meant like
cool.
it changes like square, rectangles,
no, it's
triangles.
a circle that twirls around, but no.
And it goes up and down.
It goes up and down at one point, and that's
where
like
they go to like the 300s. Hey, what do you guys want?
No, they don't go that.
No, it's mostly just,
like, hey.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and I should go back and listen to our own episode because I'm sure we mentioned it then. I think that section back there where that little, it's surrounded by like this bar.
Yes.
And I think that that's where the VIPs go.
It is.
So if you bought a VIP, that's where your seat is.
Nice.
So, and you get like free booze
or
X amount of booze.
Yeah.
And
for the second concert, that's where Soph and I were in that area. Not in the booze section, we were up. And that's where the wives and the kids were sitting. For this as well.
Oh, they always sit
so
in the
that's
VIP?
like the VIP area. So I think those are mostly they take requests from those people, but maybe if you're sitting like directly behind.
Then people started realizing that, so they started bringing signs to concerts with song requests on them.
Oh,
so
neat.
so that was like a thing. So now we switch over, and now they're in Chicago. And then they also showed their text phone number, which Lydia was very excited about.
That is a good idea.
So a lot of bands are doing that now.
And random celebrities even.
Backstreet Boys doing some other stuff. So
please do. Yes.
So they just will randomly text you like, oh, look at this picture or whatever. It's not a big deal.
Texting them, bro.
It's like a...
Oh, is it like a computer? Son of a beast.
You know how many celebrities are like, please call me, and it's just like a friggin' automated line. Yeah.
I called Mickey Mouse once, and it was ridiculous. He didn't even let me say a word edgewise, man.
That's
what was it kind of goofy?
No, it was like, the nighttime one where it's just like,
hey, kids, go to sleep.
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna kill you.
What?
It was
my
the
God.
morning one, or was it?
No, I kind of nighttime one. Hey, pal, it's Mickey Mouse, and I was like,
see you real soon, Keyy. Why? Because I like you.
Who said that?
Mickey Mouse.
Oh, he did.
M-O-U-S-E.
He didn't sing in mine.
Okay, no.
This is the Corona Mickey Mouse. He was just like, hiya, Carol. Let's go to bed. Bye.
Okay.
And I was like, that. I didn't even get to say anything. Like, you didn't even ask me how I was. Like, I don't know.
What the heck, Mickey? What the heck?
I'm just saying.
How dare this free service not?
I know.
Provide.
Cater to my needs.
Anywho, so now they're in Chicago. I think they do an actual show in Chicago, but then they go to the Cobra Lounge.
Yes.
Which is a very small club that they used to play in years ago. They said the last time they played there was February 9th, 2006. And then Joe was very adamant that it was small and sweaty. He kept saying sweaty a lot. So it's a sweaty show at a club. And they actually brought the original band for this. And they said that it was cool to add it in there because it was going from like arenas where there's 17,000 people to a club where there's only 200 people. And then Lydia and I were reminiscing about our Serial Joe days because that's the type of clubs they would play in.
Yeah.
So while they're there, they're performing the song BB Good, which I'm assuming is also an old song. And then they actually talk to some of the original band members. So at this point, the one guy was talking about how they were on this Jonas Brothers tour. He flew to Philly. He literally got his bag from the baggage claim. And then he got a phone call that the band was breaking up. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, I'm in Philly, like, whatever. And then another guy in the band was also talking about after the boys broke up, how he was working at his other job and he heard a song on the radio and he remembered that's the song he performed with the band at the Grammys. So it was kind of like...
He was like sweeping a floor at the time.
He was sweeping a floor and he's just like, I played at the Grammys with this song and here I am at this other thing. So I feel like... So that's another interesting point that you don't even think about. Like, sure, like the band themselves broke up, like the brothers, but their crew, everybody who was with them, also like are sent home, broken up, whatever, right? So
lost their job, whatever.
Lost their jobs.
Yeah, so like when the band breaks up, it's not just the band. It's like it affects so many more people.
You hear that in sync? No.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like, are they not with these bandmates anymore?
When I was looking on the stage, it didn't look like these two guys were in the band footage, so I don't think they're on. But I think they decided to do this one show with them.
Well, so I was going to ask you. I thought they said that after the tour started going, they decided to do these littler shows after. So I don't think they did it in every city on every stop, but they did it one off here and there. They would do these things, which is cool as shit. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
because it's nice to
It's kind of like an after party, but it's just like a mini concert after party and not... No offense to any of the other boy bands, but the after parties that they put on are kind of not like
lame.
That.
Yeah.
They're not lame. There's good aspects to them. And maybe if I was still in my 20s, that would be cool. But like, if it was like, hey, we're going to do a mini concert after this, and it's going to be much more intimate, and that's the after party.
Yeah.
That's like way
better. That sounds way cooler.
100%, because no offense, but I would rather do a lunch as opposed to an after party because
you get more time.
Bands that we follow have shitty after parties.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't show up till many hours later, and you've already been standing
all
day.
And we're tired.
You know what though? Let's be honest. They're showing it like everything was amazing, but I'm sure that those people who are waiting for they're back there drinking
it was
beers
at 10:30,
and all this shit. Yeah, well, people are standing there like, where are they?
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry, I was
that's
on the
true.
desk.
Looks can be deceiving on a documentary.
Yeah,
so
you're
I'm
right.
sure that they were also waiting a very long time.
No, that's 100% true.
That's a good point.
And then in my comment, for some reason, I have Kevin chant. Oh, everybody was chanting for Kevin in the club, and I was like, "Oh, yay!"
Because he was drinking a Coors Light.
I think they wanted him to chug the beer. Yeah, but he didn't get it.
No.
Yeah.
So then,
my note was on here was that was pretty cool, and then this is like a stripped down version of Jonas Brothers, but this is them. This is like the intimate version of them.
Yeah. They also performed Just Friends. And then they were talking about how important it is to get back to where you come from, which is why they were doing these smaller ones. And then they were talking about how they were going to leave, but then they decided they would just hang out afterwards and reminisce with their old band and all the good times. And then you see, again, all the fans outside. So I guess they're waiting for them to leave. But
not to be like the Debbie Downer here, you know, but like, do you feel like there's a little bit of like entitlement here? Like, I don't know, like, I think their intentions are good, right? Because they're like, oh, you know, we sold out an arena and we want to just have a private event to get back to where we were, right? And you're just like, you know how many musicians would love to be in your position? You know, like, selling out arenas and stuff. And it's like, and then, like, you're also taking, like, their spots from them, too. You know what I mean? Just like, I don't know.
It's one night, though. It's not like they're taking it up for a long time. And I'm sure that the venue's like, yes! You know,
money.
Like,
no. I know,
because that's gonna sell out for sure.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You know what I mean?
I guess that's true. I don't know.
I kind of compare it to like when we go to the Backstreet Boys concert and it's a whole big, huge concert, and then we go to a Nick concert and it's like 1,000 people or less.
Yeah,
like the smaller venues. Which I prefer those ones better because you're closer and
same
things like that.
100%.
But I don't think they'd be able to have all 5 of the boys do like a little. Well, when they did their 20th anniversary or whatever in LA. They did a small thing, didn't they?
That wasn't a concert.
Wasn't it?
No.
So, do you remember
that Jenna went to when we watched
that wasn't a concert. It was like a Q&A thing. But it was like a private event, and there was only X amount of people, and it was all 5 of them. So, yeah. But it was like
when Kevin came back when we went to New York. Yeah. That was kind of like the thing where there was all the 5 boys were there. They did maybe like 5-10 songs.
It was a rehearsal though that we were watching.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a rehearsal.
The only reason that worked out the way that it did and we were able to actually get tickets for it because we bought VIPs to GMA, which we thought was only getting us like early access to like whatever. But then they added that after. They added the rehearsal.
You didn't pay for GMA. GMA was free.
You didn't pay for GMA, but you got a VIP where you were supposed to like get in early.
No, we didn't. That was because we bought.
I could have sworn we bought the VIP for this event.
And that event got us in.
Yeah.
That's how we got early.
And because we had our wristbands for the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I must be remembering it wrong because I was like, I don't want to buy that. Because
we were
I thought
going
it
for
sounded
free,
dumb.
but then they announced a couple days before that they were doing this secret event, so we bought that. And that's why we left earlier, because we bought this VIP.
But the long and short point was it was announced at very last minute.
Yes.
It wasn't like
which
all
I'm sure
along
this was... Because remember when Joe Bros just came out, they did a couple of smaller shows. Like, they went to a couple of, like, colleges and stuff.
But that wasn't... You couldn't buy tickets. It was just like,
events, like,
hey, we're doing this.
Yeah.
If you're going to be there, you're there. It wasn't like...
It wasn't like you could plan ahead of time.
And a lot of these, even Backstreet shows, things like that, what ends up happening with small things like that, and I don't know how these Jonas Brothers events worked. If you would like to let us know, please do. I know there's one Jonas Brother fan who follows us, so maybe she'll let us know.
Okay.
Please.
But typically, just like with what I'm used to, how these type of events work is that you can't buy tickets. It's just like kind of a lottery system, and you like put your name in and then you just get the tickets. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you go on and you try, because they're so limited.
How do they make money from the venue?
No, you pay.
It's
not
okay.
like it's not like, here's Ticketmaster, the tickets go on sale at 10.
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody's like a free-for-all.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like everyone requests tickets sort of thing.
So like a fan club type thing?
Yes.
Mm.
Like that thing in LA, that's how it was. You put in like a request for tickets, and then it was just like, you get it, you don't.
Oh.
The thing in Nashville that they did, that's how it was. You put in a request for tickets, and then either they gave it to you or they didn't. Right? But it's more based on like who they think is going to be there and like those kind of things.
Oh, that thing in Nashville. Sorry, I thought it was something that we went to. Which we
we did not.
We did not.
But we
it was
put
in the middle of the week.
We put in like a thing to enter to get the tickets.
Because we're like, meh, if we take 2 days off work and go to Nashville.
But then they didn't give it to us because whatever.
Because we're far away.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so back to the documentary. At this point, Nick, they were talking about a lot about the fan energy. And Nick was saying that, like, the energy, you can do anything with the support and energy from your fans. I think Joe was talking about it, like, coming in through your body or
your legs.
And it's just like, they were just talking about how, like, a lot of people are like, oh, it's just screaming or whatever, like, but it's not. Like, you actually do
feel it physically.
You feel it physically. You feed off their energy and they're all their support, and that helps you be a better performer.
But it's not I've heard that before from other
artists,
yeah.
which is it's probably true. And then Nick, there's the video of Nick looking at, like, kid Nick at this point. And then, Soph, do you have anything about that? About fan energy or anything? Are you good?
No, I'm good, yeah.
Okay, so then next, they perform Jealous. So Lydia's like, finally, I know a song.
Yes.
And then Lydia said, okay. So Nick starts off at the B stage. Joe pops up over there. So then Nick walks back to the front stage, and Lydia's like, think of how many germs these people have. And starts freaking out.
It's true. I mean, like, well, okay, I was normally a germaphobe before all this stuff started. So, like, I was, like, the person who already had masks and gloves in my house. So, like, I'm already, like, people gross me up. But, like, now, like, thinking, like, today's standards, like, back then, I'm like, oh, my God, how many people are carriers? Like, I don't know how much. Yes. It's going to be a long time.
When we mentioned this before, again, when we reviewed the tour. When they walk from the B stage to the main stage, or from the main stage to the B stage, they walk through the crowd, so they're like, he's like touching everyone's hands.
So, like, some bands, they're up on a stage, they're not on a stage, he walks down to the floor.
Yeah.
And then, like, there's obviously barricades.
It's not a runway. It's
like, literally, here is the cement floor, you're walking across it and kind of, like, high-fiving people as you go down. So, yes.
The germs! Anyways, but that's just me being a jerk. Anyways, continue.
Well, it's true, and who knows in the future how mosh pits and pits are going to work at all. So.
I don't know, man.
No idea, and kind of missed that. But
I know, me too.
It is what it is. So hopefully,
it's definitely going to be a while before that kind of stuff is happening again.
Yeah,
because they might open up like sporting events or whatever, and have like spaces in between with rows and stuff. But for an actual pit, who knows? Which again, I'm not a huge fan of pits because they do kind of. I'm short and I get squished in it. But I am a fan because I need to be as close as humanly possible.
I'm sorry, did everyone
and you need to get interaction.
Did everyone just hear Chinzia say, I'm not a fan of pits?
Okay, I'm not a fan of the fact...
I think she means more in the sense of, like, fans are, like, squished together in the pits more than not a fan of the pits.
And standing for long periods of time.
Standing and not having to restrict your
bowel movements.
Do you shit at concerts?
No, I mean, like,
beverage intake.
Thank you. That's what I meant.
So that you can go pee. Like, you want to just, like, because you're not going to get your spot back because you got to fight to there, right? So, in that regard, I don't like it. But I do enjoy the interaction in pits and like to be as close as humanly possible.
If you have been with Chinzia at a concert where she's not in a pit or like in the front, she is miserable or sleeping.
Yeah.
So,
truth.
Yeah, I got nothing. Oh, Sophia, you can't see this, but my mom was cleaning out our something, and she found this old photo album, and I opened it up, and it's pictures of my first NSYNC concert, and I'm in the 200 levels, and this is a zoom camera, and the guys are approximately
the size of an ant,
3 millimeters tall.
I didn't even know what it was pictures
of. They're the worst pictures ever.
Like, I confirmed by the date in the corner.
Almost?
Sorry?
Say it again, bud.
So they're like dots, like you can't even see them?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
They're
You
like,
can see little color blobs,
I was gonna say, they're like colorful little blobs.
but you definitely can't tell who is who.
If I showed you this picture and said, who is this? You would never, like, I mean, you might infer because it's Chinzia.
I'm
but
pretty
like-
sure this is in sync, and then I looked at the date, and then I cross-referenced it, and it was the date that
But if
they
I
had.
said, someone took this picture, who are the people in this picture? You would never know in a million years that
It's
it was in sync.
the worst photo ever.
That's
And
crazy.
it's an entire album of the same, like,
blurry dots.
it's the
So
worst thing
I
ever.
have obviously
So
been
it's really true when we took photos, they look like dots.
yes.
Yeah.
So I cannot go back to that. I don't care that I'm considered a concert snob.
You
I
are.
need to be as close as humanly possible.
But
I need to have interaction.
even you can admit
Of
that
course.
when you were looking at that with your eyes, it did not look that
No,
bad.
it was
yeah,
bigger.
yeah, it's true.
And I do remember being very excited, and my gay friend and his gay friend, boyfriend at the time. And I remember I was wearing like platform shoes, and I was jumping and using the other guy as leverage because he was tall to try to get myself up higher to see. But I also recall it being slightly bigger in person.
Mhm.
And I enjoyed being there, but I think at that point I'm like, oh, look, there's an empty seat over there. Like, so I have a sickness and I need to be close. So
I have the
there you go.
sickness, and the only cure is more celebrity.
More boy band.
Yeah.
Okay, jealous. Okay, so at this point they asked Joe what his favorite song is, and he said it's Hesitate, because again, that's his song for Sophie. But he said his favorite Jonas Brother not even Jonas Brother, his favorite party song is Cake by the Ocean.
That's a good song.
So then he did his, and that's when all so that song happened.
Flailing
and
Arm Men.
The colorful inflatable dancing guys were there, and it was fantastic and
Yes.
fun. And even at
That
the
was a
concert,
fun time.
we were jumping out of our seats and dancing and shit. And then
I really
Yeah,
enjoyed
the
this part.
confetti streamers came
Yes,
out. Like,
yes. That should have been the whole time.
yes.
We
Like
can't
this was
have
Lydia's.
non-stop confetti, because then you're going to get steak fade.
Oh, I know, but just like I'm like, yeah, I
more
really,
upbeat.
I like Pitbull because like every song is a banger. You're like,
So what?
oh, like blood's pumping. It's like, like I don't know, like I just love it.
How do you feel about his quarantine song? I believe.
Oh God, yeah.
I believe that was something.
I don't want to talk about it. It's just,
I believe that we will win. Is that the song?
Yeah, yeah.
I believe.
I
It's
believe
not
that we
banger.
will win. I believe that we will win. It's like,
Banger.
okay, like that's not every song is a banger. Okay, I'd say maybe let me say 90%
Our bangers.
are bangers. There's a good 10% that are.
So-
Ooh.
I feel like part of the problem with the Jonas Brothers is we're not familiar enough with their music.
Well,
For
I
us.
watched it.
It's not their problem.
No,
it's
no,
our
for us.
problem.
Yes. But even again at the show, I was just like, they do have a lot more slower songs. They don't have as many upbeat.
which is
Cake
always
by the Ocean.
which is always a bit of a for me. You can have like you can pepper in some ballads. Ballads are always nice. You need to sit down, take a swig from your wine, and enjoy the concert. But like, I don't know, man. Like,
I wouldn't even say that Jonas Brothers have a lot of ballads. You know what? The majority of their songs are mid-tempo. They're not super. They have.
because they play the instrument,
Yes.
right? It's not like they're a dancing boy band.
They're a little bit more of
yeah,
a band.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why it's not like bangers, flames,
Yeah.
dancing. You know.
All right.
Relatable guys.
Fair. Like, but I really enjoyed this part of the concert. Like, that was like, if the whole concert was like this, it would have been like beautiful. But that's just my opinion.
So now that you speak of that, I just kind of tie that back into our previous comment about when the Jonas Brothers broke up and stuff. What about DNCE, man? What the heck happened to that band?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Are they still performing without Joe?
They sweeping floors. Who
Are
knows?
they like reminiscing about the time they used to have Joe Jonas in their band? Like, I don't really know.
Like,
We should probably look this up.
who is
Yeah.
DMC? Like, I just
DNCE.
like DNCE.
It's like the word dance,
Dance
without
without
an
an
A.
Oh, it's like missing Jonas.
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 Anyways, so at this point, with all the streamers coming and the colorful inflatable dancing guys, Lydia's quote was, "Do you know what would be nice? Tear away pants."
Oh yeah,
So Lydia's like, "Man, they're dancing. They should just rip off the pants."
rip off their pants. Like, oh my god, it would be a perfect time. I would love it. I'm sure everyone in the audience would love it. Just like a little, they can even have like the short shorts colored to whatever the fuck they were wearing. Beautiful.
They don't even have to be naked underneath. They can have underwear on.
Just like nice pair of spandex short shorts.
Talking like wrestling. Like...
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just like, I just want to see some butt cheeks, for God's sakes. You know, my life, man. I need to see more butt cheeks in my life, okay?
Perhaps we need to take Lydia to a strip club.
No, I just want to see like clean boy band butts.
Clean boy band butts.
You know, is that so much to ask?
Hairless.
Okay, maybe not hair. What? Oh God. Oh, I didn't even think about. No, they're wearing pants. They're wearing short shorts.
Okay.
It's not like.
So not a bare ass.
No, I don't want to.
You would like a colorful ass.
I would just like a nice,
tight,
juicy, just like, you know, bite into that like a nice sandwich. Like a two beautiful buns. You just want to like rub your face on them, and they're soft because they just came out of the oven.
Nutella sandwich.
It's not Nutella sandwich. Oh my God! Oh, that's so gross. No, for God's sakes. Oh my God. Oh my God. You're disgusting, man. Sophia, help me. I don't know what to say, man.
Why are you talking so much?
She was appreciating Joe's butt a lot during this time.
It was like he was wearing the pink pants. They were nice and tight, and you saw the shape, and it was like it's like two apples. You just want to like take a bite. You're like, not like a Nutella sandwich, not a Nutella sandwich.
I'm sorry for ruining your fantasy.
That is disgusting.
I can't help you here.
I literally have Nutella in my cupboard, and I was thinking about eating later, and now I don't even know. Ridiculous.
Oh,
wow.
It's a commodity. The plant is shut down.
I know.
Oh, sorry. So she was appreciating Joe's butt, and then she wanted tearaway pants.
Tearaway pants.
Please
give
move on
me
with
something.
the documentary.
Just give me something.
Jesus Christ. Do you have anything for this part, Sophie? Good.
No, I think this part says it all.
Okay.
Okay, so at this point, then they go to Kevin. And Kevin is talking about how he left high school to join the band. He didn't go to college. He was in the band for 12 years.
Like, time out for a second. Why do all celebrities think that college is this amazing fucking place where, like, magic happens? College is shit, okay? I would rather be on tour than in college.
Agreed. Remember when Robin...
Yes.
Robin
Show
quit.
me love. You're like...
She quit to go to university, and then what happened? I think she ended up making music eventually later.
Yeah, I mean, I saw her on an episode of RuPaul. But it's just like, dude, like, why the fuck did you get off that train? Just chugga-chugga-chew through your fucking life. You can take summer
You only
courses.
have so much time, and then you can go to college afterwards.
I think people just... it's a grass is always greener scenario.
Oh.
Right? You see... Like, even some of the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, whatever, they didn't get to go to high school because they were so young and they joined these bands.
High school also sucked.
They missed out on the high school experiences.
I think they've been watching too many movies.
That's what it is, right? They miss out on the high school experience of going to prom and this and that. And
they can go to prom.
Instead, you're hanging out with Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera.
But you don't. That's what I mean. It always seems better on the other side. Do you know what I mean? And then when he's saying this about college, again, they just friggin' went around to all these colleges doing these like pop-up shows, and he sees all these kids drinking and partying and having the time of their lives, and he's like, man, I never got to experience that. Which there are good aspects to high school. Some people really enjoyed high school. I did not, but some people did.
I did.
Some people really enjoyed college and university. Yeah. I did. Lots of other people didn't. If you asked me if I could go back to university in a heartbeat, oh my God. But like, that's compared to my life now. You know what I mean? Like, if I was a celebrity, I would take celebrity life, obviously, over that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just can't see it because they don't have the perspective.
Like, they can't see the forest through the trees, essentially.
Yeah. And it's just, it seems nice when you're looking at it from a distance. You're like, look at all the camaraderie of the frat houses and the sororities, and they're drinking and they're
the spankings.
Yeah. And there's fun things that happen when you're, you know, but like,
we never actually went away to school. Maybe that's part of it.
Because Mom had to keep us under her thumb. That's why.
Okay, sure.
Anyways, because I was like, I want to go. And then Mom's like, no, you got to stay in your city. And I was like, oh, yeah? And then that's where I ended up meeting my husband. So
there you go.
There we go.
So it's all Mom's fault.
Just kidding.
Okay, so then at that point, Kevin said that, 12 years in a band was over in a single conversation. And then he didn't know who he was, as he's said many times.
Oh my God. This line. This line. Did it not drive anyone else crazy?
Not as much as you, buddy.
Oh my god. I was like, go to know him. Jonas Brothers got a lot of money. What else do you gotta be? But I guess.
So anyway, then he started working. I think he said he did some app developing at one point. Then he also said he did some real estate.
Yes.
And then he was just kind of home with his family because then his wife started having the kids. They were babies, so he was making every day special by hanging out with his family. And his family, again, as we'll put them together. He was saying how the time part was hard, and it was not easy for him to watch his brothers continue to have success. So he felt he was left behind, and his brothers, although he was proud of them and happy that they were out there, it wasn't good for him because they were at a different stage in their life, and they were out continuing their careers, and he wasn't.
And humping all over town.
And then
like in the last, I think,
weeks ago.
Weeks ago, this is the point that I made. You know, sometimes like they had to hump it out. They just gotta hump it out and then like come back together. And
oh my god, I thought you meant the brothers had to hump it out.
Not them,
like,
no.
Around. They have to hump around.
Thank you. They have to hump around town, and then find their special someone, and then then they move to stage 2 of their lives.
Okay. Which they obviously did.
Yes.
And at this point, that part showed the video of Kevin and his girls meeting Kevin's young self. So it was very symbolic that his family was there with him and the older self meeting the young self. So then next they played Come Back, which I think is a very good song. Kevin was on the piano. They were wearing white suits. They were in a forest background on the stage.
Nice. They look nice.
Joe was wearing a black, sparkly jacket.
It was all right.
Yes, so that was good. Then the next song was When You Look Me in the Eyes, and Nick was on the piano. I don't know that song.
I oddly remember that one.
Okay.
But you guys never do, so I don't know why I know that song.
So if you know
I remembered it too. I was singing along for some reason.
Okay.
I know
Apparently
nothing.
It just disappears from my head every time I see it. Maybe because it's slow and boring.
Oh, well, that is one of their big-time boy band ballad type songs, so...
Is this a new song from the new
album? No, that's an old one.
Oh, okay. Then Lydia went to get a sweater.
I was cold. My arms were cold.
And then she said, "This is painful to watch."
This is the detail of the notes that Chinzia has. Yep.
This is painful to watch. Will this be over soon? Was Lydia's motivation.
I'm sorry. I need music that is hype. I need music that gets my blood pumping. And this is just like, oh my god.
Sure, it was two piano songs.
So were you like, you couldn't wait? Yeah, I can understand why you couldn't wait for it to be over.
Thank you, Sophia. I'm a different personality type. I'm weird.
Can we pick up the pace?
Yes, please.
Yes, they were there. So then there was fireworks. They were shooting behind the scenes of the concert videos.
I like the fireworks, obviously, because it was,
there was like a trampoline with balloons, and they were jumping.
That was nice as well. I enjoyed that.
So then it said they wanted to find their inner child, and they wanted to reconnect. And then this.
I really liked that. That was nice to hear.
A lot of eye rollings from me. But
Lydia was eye rolling a lot at this point. Yes. I believe was the next song.
That is the song. Yep.
I believe.
Yes, that was a good song. Then they were on a plane, and it kind of sounded almost like a mariachi version of Sucker.
Yeah.
Then they ended up in Mexico City.
That was nice.
And then there was a mariachi band.
Literally a mariachi band.
Playing. There was people with like giant Jonas Brother head signs.
That was funny.
Then they were talking about in the concert how they had broken up 6 years ago, the day yesterday. So it'd been. Then they were drinking with the band in Mexico and cheersing and all that shiznit. Then it got to the year 3000, friends.
Oh,
the best song.
When I heard it, I was like, oh my god, Chinzia must be loving her life right now.
She was.
I wrote Chinzia approved. It was fantastic. I enjoyed it immensely.
She lit up.
It was singing and chair dancing.
I was like, Chinzia must be having a great time with this song.
I did. I was still singing the busted version, but whatever. Then the wives were chanting one more song with the crowd. It was very entertaining.
So sweet.
It was very cute.
Oh, I really like that the wives were like so into the
Yeah.
show.
They were like
and all
so
the songs.
pumped
That
to
was
watch.
good.
I know, because they're always like, there's always these wives who are like, oh, I don't care that he's a boy bander. Like, I don't even pay attention to that, right? And then you're just like, come on, yes, you
Have
do.
a little fun here.
And then I like that they were like involved.
they were like, one more.
Yeah, I like
song.
that they were into it and they're, having a good time.
yeah.
So with the crowd. Then the video shows like the face morphing with the kids' faces to the adult faces.
Ooh, so majestic.
Then there were flames.
Yeah, all right, I like the flames.
And then burning up came. And then they
Burning
were.
up with you, baby.
I always think of the Nick
I
Carter.
always think of the Nick Carter
Me
one, so
too.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
But yes, so yes.
Yeah.
But it was a very upbeat, fun,
song.
pyrotechnic.
Very good.
Yes, good.
Yep.
Lydia said
Something.
bong?
What did she say? Oh.
Something, thank you. I don't know, I guess that's when they do with the flames.
Bong. Thank
I
you.
don't know my writing.
Oh, maybe she's like, finally, something exciting. The flames.
Yeah,
Probably,
probably.
yes.
Not important.
Then it was Sucker, which is the finale.
Yes.
Yes, sucker. I'm looking for you.
And then, so after that, then it showed the end of the first show in Miami. And everybody was backstage. And Joe said, I want us to get better as brothers every year. And then he was talking about like them getting together as brothers and whatever. And he was hoping that this will mend other people's families by seeing the Jonas brothers getting back together.
Mending their relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then Kevin.
I'm assuming their relationship is better, so they want other families to see that, and hopefully they can talk out their problems as well.
Exactly. And then Kevin was saying emotionally it was more than he could handle. The parents were proud. He's like, I was proud to do it for my kids. My kids were proud of me performing. I am on the last page, people. And then he was everybody was hugging the family backstage. And then they were talking about how they had hashed things out in the original documentary, and that's why they were able to do this. And then, I don't know who said this.
I feel like the tour, like, really helped,
Cement it.
they really enjoyed, like, hanging out together.
Yeah.
And the relationship got better as time went on in the tour.
For sure. Because then Kevin's like, 82 more shows. And then Priyanka's like, it's 100 more shows. He's like, oh, sorry. It was pretty funny. And then...
and what was
Nick told
she
her
said
to say
something.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
That's
Oh,
funny.
cute.
And then it says, one of them said, I hope we mean something to people and they feel connected to us and we made them proud. We're their boys. We love that and we just want to make them proud. So they're talking about how, like, they belong to the fans. They're their boys. They want to make them proud. Possibly Joe said that. I'm not really sure.
Jordan, wow.
Joe?
Jordan.
Do you have anything else for that section?
I have nothing.
Sophia?
Nope. That was my only thought. I just said it.
Great.
Okay, and then the very final quote from Lydia was, ugh, Lord Jesus, come on, is it over? And it was over. So there you go.
Thank you for quoting me so vividly,
No
so everyone
problem.
can experience how I was feeling. Wow. Yeah. Well, how did you guys like it?
So would you say the first one is way better than the second one then? Since you didn't really like this one?
110%. Like, I love documentary style stuff. Like, Tiger King, hilarious. Jonas Brothers, very good. This, it maybe if I liked their songs more, then it wouldn't have been so like, but like, I don't know. It just, you know what it was? It was like, I didn't grow up with Jonas. I don't feel that connection with the songs. So that's probably like why.
And you didn't go to the concerts, and we went to the concerts, so we had heard the songs a few more times.
Sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, like, but I'm not saying that they're shit. Obviously, they're not shit. This was not my favorite thing they did. I like the documentary better.
Right now.
You what?
It wasn't your cup of tea, this documentary.
Yeah, it wasn't my cup of tea. I liked the first one. This one was not my favorite. So, I mean, yeah, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I thought it was cute. Like, it was nice. And honestly...
And if I was a Jobo fan, like a hardcore fan, I'd be, like, in love with this. But again, like, the suits bothered me.
Oh, God.
So the visual wasn't there.
Yeah.
And then, like, I don't know. I don't know if I like the flow of things. I thought it was very, like, not downer, but I feel maybe a little bit. Like, all the, like, the little things it was talking about how, like, you know, we're back together, this, like, that. It wasn't, like, as
uplifting?
upbeat, maybe, or...
No, I thought it was fine. I'm generally not the type of person. I don't really like to watch concerts unless I'm there.
Okay.
Like, even through the year, you're talking about this O-Town thing.
Oh God, that's the best thing ever.
I had the VHS tape A Night Out with the Backstreet Boys. I rarely watched it. I prefer to watch things like, I had other things that I like recorded off the TV of them like talking and stuff like that. I don't know why. Like when I'm at a concert, love it, living it, like whatever.
You're experiencing it.
But because you're immersed in the whole concert
even like
experience.
you take videos at the concert. I stopped doing it because I never watch them back.
So
they just sit on my phone and I never look at them again. And I'm like, who am I taking this for?
It's like recording fireworks, right? You're like, oh, this is beautiful, but like, you don't watch it ever.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
When I am there and I'm watching fireworks, it's great.
Magical.
Do I want to watch a video of someone else's fireworks? Absolutely not. Because it's not the same.
No.
No, that's totally true.
And that's how I kind of feel about concerts. So this is great. And like the main thing for me is respect to them for putting out something at this time. Like maybe this was always planned to come out now. I don't really know. But like the timing worked out beautifully because you know what? People are home. They're looking for something. They're looking for anything.
They're sad that they can't go to concerts. They have nothing
even
to
those
look
like little in-between sections of concert footage is not like your thing. Even those little in-between sections is something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then obviously Joe Bros did stuff to promote this. They were popping in on people's Zoom chats.
Yes, that's the other thing.
What?
Yes. So they said, hey, when it's releasing at midnight or 8 o'clock.
Yeah, whatever time it was.
They're like, have a Zoom party with your friends and we'll come in. And they were like popping into people's Zooms. They're like, send us your Zoom. We'll come in. So they come and say hi. And then they went to another Zoom and they would just do that.
So like respect to them for doing all that kind of things. Like it's at this time putting out.
And you didn't know they were coming, right? You just sent it. I'm sure lots of people sent it and they were just kind of going through and picking and just going in and
that's pretty cool. All right, that's pretty cool.
So it's like,
and they've been doing stuff going on some of the late night shows to promote and stuff like that. So like, it's cool. Like, respect to them for putting it out. Is it the best? No. The first one, if you prefer like a movie,
I did.
The first one is better.
Yeah, and it's really the first one is really good to kind of bridge the whole Jonas Brother thing, like back when they were kids. And what's happening now? So like we didn't know a lot about it.
It was so powerful, man.
It was very like interesting
and like
introduced
emotional.
Them, and then they explained how they are as a group.
This is just like the more new style of like concert documentary. Like Justin Bieber did one, and Taylor Swift did one, and One Direction has one. It's one of those type of things,
which is great. So if you want to relive your concert, sure, by all means, whatever. But nothing beats actually going to a concert.
And I mean, like, say if you had some sort of like financial or like some sort of disability where you couldn't go to a concert, at least this is, accessible for you, right? So I mean, that is good too. But
and they might not come to your part of the world. You're not able to travel or whatever.
That is possible.
I know that if this was a band that I would have, if they had said that part of this footage was from Toronto, I would literally be like staring it down the whole time, trying to find a speck of my hand somewhere because
our hands would not.
We know that.
But if we had better seats, then I definitely would be looking like, is that our sign over there? Look, there I am. Like.
Anyways, it's been a very long time.
So yes. All in all, thanks Jonas Brothers for putting this out. This is great.
Thank you, Jonas Brothers, for entertaining us during this time.
And I'm glad that they're really like still connected as brothers, and sounds like they're coming from a good place, so they'll probably be around for a while.
Indeed.
Yes, I'm glad that they've mended their relationship and they're loving each other again.
Exactly.
Very sweet.
All right. Thanks for taking a break with us, guys.
Until next time.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.